everyone, it's me Lauren for Loveless Instinct, and today I'm coming to you with part 2 of my new series on how to start a wholesale business. Now if you hear a lot of noise in my background, or screaming or crying or tapping on stuff, then most likely you're hearing my 2 toddlers. They're 2 and 1 years old and very busy little bees. So that's what you're gonna hear. Okay, so in the last video, I talked about how to decide on your type of business, decide on your company name, also the types of business licenses that you can get, touched on that very briefly. And then also I want you all to think about whether or not you want to do a drop ship or or housing your inventory yourself at your house. And so if you haven't seen part 1, I suggest you go see it when you get a chance so that you can get an idea of some of those foundational things that you need to lay before actually getting the business started. Now in part 2, we're going to talk about how to go ahead and get up and running. So the first thing that you want to think about after you've considered all the other things that I previously mentioned is that you want to think about your budget. So let's say you work full-time. So you have a paycheck that you get, whether it's bi-weekly or monthly. You want to think about how much of that check you can dedicate to your business, whether it's $100 or $200. So since you already researched what companies offer the products that you want to sell, or even you decide, hey, I could hand make some stuff and I can make them in big batches, and so I want to do it that way, you still have to have a budget when it comes to the supplies to make things. So you need to have a dollar amount and stick to that dollar amount when it comes to ordering your products. Then you need to consider, how are you going to take payments? Nowadays it's very convenient, like if you sell your products at a craft fair or the flea market, or even if you set up shop in your local gas station parking lot, you could take credit card payments through what they call a swipe. A swipe is a little white square card that, well, yeah, it's a little square card reader that you can swipe credit cards, or even lets you type in the credit card number if the swipe is currently not working. PayPal actually has one as well, and I'm not sure what the name of it is, but it's also like a PayPal card reader. So you could do that, but of course there's a fee associated with taking credit cards. Then also PayPal is really good because let's say you sell online, or even if you don't sell online, or you know somebody in your local community, or somebody sends you an email, you can say, hey, I'll send you the bill through PayPal. They can pay you, and then you can proceed with giving them your product. The good thing about PayPal is that it keeps track of your transaction. So if someone says, I want you to make me a greeting card, and you say, okay, I'm going to make it, and they have to send the payment before you actually ship the product. So you have a paper trail of what's going on. But also it's good for buyers, because if you're a shady person, then they're able to tell PayPal, hey, I paid them X amount of dollars and they never shipped my goods. I want my money back, and they'll do so. So you want to keep that in mind. But also, let me mention this, in business, and sometimes I had to learn the hard way, never get the product or make the product before you have cash in your hand. And some people are very adamant about, oh yeah, I'm going to pay you when you get it. Can you get it for me? Can you get it? Can you get it? And then they fall through and you never hear from them, and then you have this extra stock of products that you have to move or get rid of because you've already spent the money up front on it. So keep that in the back of your mind. Then also, so you thought about your budget. You're thinking about whether you want to do PayPal or take money in person, credit card or cash, however you want to do it. But you also want to think about, do you want to do an e-commerce website? And I had an e-commerce site. I initially started off with Shopify, which was wonderful. I loved Shopify. The only thing I didn't like about it was the monthly fee. Because if it's a slow month and you don't have a certain amount of revenue, you still have to pay them X amount of dollars. And that's the only thing I didn't like about them. But WordPress is an awesome platform, and I use it now even when I create websites for other people, as well as my own projects that I'm working on now, I think it's a good platform. You really don't need any coding experience. I mean, it's good to have that so that you can tweak different things, but it's very user friendly. And there's also a new platform that's called Squarespace, and Squarespace is also a new platform that a lot of businesses uses, such as churches, nonprofits, even e-commerce sites. So you want to look into that. And the good thing about having a website like a WordPress or Squarespace is that you don't have a monthly fee associated with it. So but you have to build the site yourself. So you have to buy your domain through GoDaddy or Bluehost or SiteGround. That's another host. You have to buy the domain, and then you have to pay for hosting. Hosting is like how they put your website on the web. So for me, I bought the rights to Lovely's Instinct and lovellyinstinct.com, 2 of them, in case somebody misspelled the name. And I also paid for the hosting, so I paid it up for 2 years, or maybe it was 3 at that time. So I did that, and that's good. So they cut you a better deal if you pay the yearly versus the annual, like, monthly fee. So then, after you've done that, you also want to go ahead and scoop up those social media handles. So your Instagram, your Twitter, your Pinterest, your Facebook, create a Facebook page. You want to do all of that. And if for some reason or chance someone has your business name already, then you might want to kind of tweak how someone can find you on social media. So like for my daughters, they are Madison Addison, like that's their brand, that's their names. Well, unfortunately on Instagram, it's 2 little girls who are like 14 or 15 years old who already picked up that social media handle. So I had to think of another creative way to create their social media handles that could tie back to who Madison and Addison is as a brand. So after you do that, you also want to think about your business hours. Being an entrepreneur, it is a 24/7 job. But of course, if you're a parent, especially a single parent, or someone who has responsibilities like helping out the family or taking care of someone else, then you can't necessarily be 24-hour, especially if you have a job that doesn't allow you to like moonlight or do other things on your break, or you know, it's just a busy schedule. So you really want to think about it. And nowadays you can virtually say, hey, my business hours are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 5. And you could do things like that and still be successful. But the thing is, you want to let people know up front what those hours are so they can know when to expect a response from you. Nobody likes to try to spend money with you and have to track you down in order for you to take their coins. So really keep that in mind. Also, you want to think about your shipping practices, and that coincides with your business hours. So for me, I worked full-time Monday through Friday. I think my hours from 6 or 6:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So my thing was, my shipping, I needed at least up to 72 hours to ship your products. And I said 72 hours because in the event that work got backed up or I had so many packages to pack up, I was able to have a little flex area in which I could get those packages out in the mail. And most of the time, if people ordered by, we'll say 10 p.m. at night, I was shipping their stuff the next day. And that looks really good because you're telling them, okay, it takes 72 hours to process your order. But if they get a notification saying, hey, your shipment has already shipped the next day, then they're like, oh, okay, she for real, she about her business. She's like really professional. I like that. I get my stuff in a timely manner. And I think that's very important because I love when a company, if I order clothes or something online and a day later, it's like part of your order has already shipped. Like, I'm automatically going to become a loyal customer to that. So then also, going back to whether or not you want an e-commerce site, you want to scoop up your social media handles, you also want to think about if you want to sell on social media. And that's one of the things that I did. in the process of building my website, I noticed that on Instagram there was a plethora of people who were selling goods on there. And so I said, hey, I can sell, in the meantime of me building this website, I can sell my goods on Instagram. And some people prefer just to look at stuff on Instagram and shop there versus clicking a link, going to a website, looking through there. So I think that's a really good option for some people, especially if you don't have the money in the budget to allocate towards buying your domain and your hosting. And also Facebook has a marketplace as well, so you want to look into that. So then after you've considered all of these things, you want to think about scheduling of inventory. So let's take Lovely's Instinct LLC for example. I provided natural hair care, nail art supplies, nail art tools, nail polish, little gift baskets, such as body butters and lotions and stuff, hair care goods like brushes and combs, and I think like cosmetic bags. So all of these things I had, and I had to figure out, because my budget was limited, I allocated myself only a few dollars in the beginning, and I said, these are the things, oh, UV lamps. So for my dollar amount that I want to spend, I have to allocate all those things. And I have to think about, okay, how am I going to get these things in stock? So I kind of took a survey and asked people, like the people that followed me, what would you like to see? What kind of products would you like to get your hands on? And I kind of knew already, because from my YouTube videos, people would be like, well, how do you find this nail polish? Or how do you find this product? I haven't seen it in my area. Can you help me out? And that's kind of gave me an idea of what I need to get. So you want to think about those things as well. Do you want to survey your current following and ask them, hey, what kind of products do you want to see? Or, hey, I have, let's just say you already have 10 red, pink, and blue nail polishes in stock. See how that moves. And if someone says, hey, can you have some browns or yellows in stock as well? Then, okay, that gives you an idea that maybe there's a good need for that, and maybe you should start stocking that as well. But you want to keep account of your inventory to make sure that you never run too low to where you cannot fulfill an order. And like I mentioned before, never get a product for someone's special request without getting money in your hand. Either take a deposit or you take a full payment if you know for sure that you can get that product in stock in a timely manner in order to ship it back out to that person. So that's all I have for today. But if you have any questions or need clarification on anything, just comment below and I'll get to it as soon as possible. And I will see you hopefully next week with a follow-up on part 3 on how to start your own wholesale business. Talk to you soon. Bye.